All right. So this is my first time doing a live in this group. I think we're gonna, do give you guys a lot of value. I'm gonna make this short because I have a lot to do today. I got somewhere to be, but we're gonna talk about basically the foundation of anything your goals are structured on is based on the foundation we're gonna be talking about today, and whether you have this or don't have this is gonna be dependent on whether you succeed or fail and why just being aware of it alone isn't really enough. You need to be aware of what's driving your unconscious rejection of this principle and one which is based in identity. So once you overcome the identity aspect and you heal that part, then you can start to implement this into your life and just have a much better life and set your goals and do what it is that you want to do in life. So growing up, so the concept is about faith. It's about faith and self-belief within yourself that you can actually do something. So a lot of us, including myself, this was a big issue where I had like these massive aspirations. I still do, but back then I never felt like I could actually accomplish them. I never had any self-belief. I had a very low self-image. And because of that, that would reflect on my outcomes. I would give up too easily. I wouldn't commit. Um, I would talk negatively on myself. And then as I started to do the identity work, I see that these restrictions that I put on myself are just simply mental frameworks that I picked up as a child that I'm playing. And it's 100% true that I've created it myself. And whatever I do set my mind to, I do have the ability to accomplish. And that was reintroduced to me by this book right here, Think and Grow Rich. I highly recommend if you haven't read this book, you have to fucking read it. It's really good. And the concept of faith is believing that it's going to get done, believing that the world is conspiring to make whatever it is that you want. You have to but you have to know what you want and you have to sacrifice the things that are getting in your way to attain it. And the concept that really like stuck it out for me was the whole concept of faith. So if you simply don't believe in yourself, you don't believe you can do it, then you're going to give up too easily, kind of like what I said before. And then also this is a concept that was way before this book. Like if you see in the Bible, it talks about how Jesus when the boat was shaky and his disciples got scared, he said, "Oh, you have little oh you who have little faith." And then he did the miracle that he did. And then also commonly it's saying like if you have the faith of a mustard seed, then you I swear to you you could move this mountain or you could do this and that. So it all stems from faith. This is not a new concept. Now, why do we struggle with this concept of faith? Why are we so focused on negativity? Why are we so focused on the things we don't have? Why are we so focused on what is wrong with us that consumes us and we are very pessimistic in life? Well, the reason is I kind of hinted it to you earlier is the upbringing that we had growing up. So, if growing up your successes were maybe mentioned once or not really mentioned a lot, but the corrective actions your parents would take, you're doing this wrong, you failed, you got a B, not a A, or you didn't get a good grade. For me, it was you got an A, why wasn't it an A plus? So I unconsciously always felt like a failure. I always felt like I was falling short. No matter how good I did, I always felt like I was falling short. So then you adopt the same way you were being spoken to as a child, and then you just end up doing it to yourself. So you adopt that language. So you do something good, you have a bunch of successes, but in your head it's like, yeah, that's expected of me. Um, there's nothing much to it. So you don't really give yourself credit. But then when you fail, it's like this huge proportional thing where where you just beat yourself up, you criticize yourself, you feel so much shame and like you're less than. So then you start harping on this negativity and finding evidence and evidence and evidence for it. That's, I mean, there, but like you also have a bunch of successes too. And then also you're looking at your failures as the end all be all. Usually when you start doing something new, you're going to fail. But when you start doing something new and you start to fail and then you start beating yourself up for it and then you just quit because you feel like such a failure, then in that case, you're not even going to stick it through to become successful because you just feel like an absolute failure. And then it's a refulfilling prophecy. But if you actually stuck it out and committed to it and it was something worthy to you, then you would stick it out and it'd become on your list of successes. So that's actually what's driving it's actually driving a fear of success, and it's also driving your fear of failure. And it's all because as a child, you were criticized and told multiple times about your failures and it was brought to the spotlight and you're humiliated for it in a lot of cases, where your successes, which you do have a lot of them, you do them every single day, they're not put in the spotlight and you don't give them any light because you're just so focused on your failures. Now also, so actually let me just finish up that point. So then what we have to realize is failure is normal, success is normal, but you need to at the very least give enough attention to your successes the same as your failures. At least give them equal. I think you should do 80 here and 20 here just to learn. Just so you could evolve and say, "What can I have done better? Ah, I fucked up here. What should I have done here? Ah, okay." And you just reiterate and go. But then also be grateful and celebrate your successes and celebrate your wins. And this is what we call the reticular activation system. So this is the system that your brain was wired to survive. So you're getting an influx of a bunch of different information. All five senses, smells, taste, physicality, sight, all this stuff. You see all of it. And your brain can only focus on so much. Everything if it focused on everything at once and it absorbed everything at once, it'd be too much for you to handle. You'd be in a straitjacket. You'd be in a mental asylum. So then your brain has to choose specific things to focus on. And then those things you focus on ends up becoming your reality and what becomes a lot of energy too. So then if we know that, it's much wiser to focus on our successes 80% of the time, our gratitude 80% of the time, because a lot of us are entitled. I made a post on this. The things that we're grateful for, excuse me, the things that we're grateful for or that we should be grateful for, like this water bottle, what I pay like $1 for. I bought a case for 85, and this is life force for me. I've done nothing to deserve this. um the roads that I drive on, I didn't build this computer, I didn't build this camcorder, the internet. There's so many things that I never physically deserved that I have access to. So there's so many things that to be grateful for, but it's just you're so hyper focused on the things that you don't have that you're just creating a reality of lack, which just attracts more lack into your life. So this is all maintained by the unconscious programmings that we developed as childhood. Um, and that's why we try so hard, maybe consciously, to focus on the successes, but we can't actually do it because our identity is telling us that we're a failure. So then we have to unravel that identity of just failing all the time and taking that as our identity because it's not true. It was just given to us and we accepted it as a child. We need to unravel that. Once we unravel that, then we could start focusing on the successes and the gratitude and all these things, as opposed to just maintaining this mindset because it fulfills a certain identity that we have. So once you do this, your focus starts to change, your reality starts to change, your quality of life starts to change, your emotions start to change, your thought process become much more joyful. People want to be around you, you're much more valuable. You just have a good energy. Life just becomes much lighter because where focus goes, where attention goes, energy flows. And when you focus it on the right stuff, or the better stuff, then you're gonna feel better. Your life's gonna be better. Everything's going to be much better for you. So then my challenge to you would be just write a list of 20 things that you're grateful for. And if you want to be serious about it, write 5 things every day that you're grateful for, like you're genuinely grateful for, and do something called a gratitude stack. So for about 3 minutes, just start thinking of different events. Just start stacking things that you're grateful for, things that you have, people you're grateful for, experiences, memories, and just start stacking them. And just let your emotion get more and more intense with the gratitude, and just see how that feels. And start doing that once, twice, 3 times a day. And just watch how your neurochemistry changes. Watch how your attitude shifts. And this is just a simple, this is just simply just a simple exercise you can do. And yeah, I mean, that's all we're going to go over in this video. This is my first live, so I hope it was helpful. And leave a comment in the leave a comment. Yeah, I guess leave a comment in the comments if this was helpful for you, and give me some feedback. Let me know what you think. Let me know what how this was beneficial to you, what insights you've had personally. I'd love to know that. And if you want, you can tell me what you want my next live to be about, and we could try and accommodate that. And yeah, I look forward to it and hope you guys have a good rest of your day.